So I had to do some tests and stuff like that. So I told Mr. Anthony, please, try to delay the group a little bit, yeah, because I was not feeling well. I'm stressed out a little bit, but this is me. So I apologize for that. This is why I told him to take you over there. But I'll take you to we have two of them, by the way, yeah. I'll take you to the northern one, to the Yardenit. It's really interesting. To really understand where we are, before I give you more information, like I said, Israel is a very small country. Israel is a very rich country. We did find oil, we did find a lot of gas here in this area. This border with Jordan, look at this. All of this is Jordan. Starting from the south, Aqaba, these are the mountains of Edom, the Edomites, which I'll tell you later on where they came from. Then you have the mountains of Moab, the Moabites. Then you have the mountains of Ammon, the Ammonites. Then you have the mountains of Gilead. Okay? So later on I'll be explaining more in details about these mountains because they are related, especially Gilead here, related for example to Elijah, related to Jacob, where the name Israel, struggling with God, where all this came from, yeah? And then I'll tell you more about the history. We have just entered Jericho, by the way. This is Jericho. Jericho is the oldest city in the world. Jericho has a long history, and you have done what the 12 tribes of Israel did 3,200 years ago, crossing over into the promised land under the leadership of Joshua. After the death of Moses, he died in Wadi Mujib. You will see that when you go back to Jordan, yeah? It's not really the place where you're going. It's in the valley. It's called Wadi Mujib. And 3,200 years ago, they crossed over the river like you did right now. And the first city to be taken and destroyed, which was the beginning of the conquest of the land, was Jericho. We don't say Jericho. We say in Hebrew Yericho or Bet HaYerich. We don't say Jesus. We don't say Mary. So here it's a totally different. How do you say Mary in Aramaic? Anybody knows? Miriam. We don't say Mary. We don't say Joseph. It's Yosef. It's different. So I'll teach you all these. This is the way that Jesus would speak it. This is how we speak it in Israel. Miriam, 2 words. It's not Mary. It's Miriam, star of the sea. This is why I'm taking you here to a place called Stella Maris, star of the sea. Joseph, Yosef means to increase, to multiply. Jacob, it's Yaakov. It's not Jacob, it's Yaakov, which means to follow the footsteps of. Every word, like Abraham, okay, father of all nations. Sarah, it's not Sarah, it's Sarai. My answer will be in summer or in winter, because Jericho is the lowest city in the world. It's located minus 280 meters below sea level. So it is the oldest city in the world. It is the biggest oasis in the world. The first city to be destroyed by Joshua, and the concentration of oxygen is the highest in any other city in the world. Why? Because the more you go below sea level, the higher the concentration of oxygen will be. So people who have problems like me, asthma and stuff like that, the best place to live basically is in Jericho. Jericho has a long history. You're talking about 10,000 years of continuous history. If I have to talk to you and tell you about the history from the Neolithic to the Paleolithic to the Chalcolithic, all the way to the Iron Age, I need 2-3 days. Yeah, very interesting, very long history. We'll try to concentrate maybe only on the New Testament, but I'll try to tell you a little bit more. Yeah, we'll get off the bus right now. Verse to write down is Luke chapter 19. Okay, verse 1 to 10. It says, okay, how do we say Jesus in Aramaic? Yeshua. What does Yeshua mean? The anointed one. It refers to a king. Okay, he entered Yericho, Bet HaYerich, the house of comfort, or the city of the good smell. Hello. I am busy. I have a group. I'll call you later on. Okay. So Jesus entered Jericho, and he was passing through. That means he's already inside the city. A man was there by the name Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was very wealthy. This reminds us of Matthew from Capernaum. He was a tax collector, he was considered to be a sinner, and very wealthy as well. He wanted to see Jesus. He wanted to see how Jesus looks like. He heard so much about him. But because he was short, he could not see because there were too many people waiting for Jesus. As mentioned in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 4, many multitudes, many people followed Jesus. He did his ministry for 3 years. We'll be dealing with that tomorrow and the day after. So this guy who was short, he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree. So I know that sycamore is a type of fig tree. If you go to Tel Aviv, if you go to Jaffa, to Ashkelon, to the coastal plain of Israel, oh, you will see a lot of sycamore trees. In Jericho, there's 4 of them. The one that is connected with this text, look on the right. You can look right now, this tree, which has a big trunk. You see this trunk? I'll let you get off the bus and take pictures, but let me just do the reading here. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree. So it is a type of fig tree. It bears fruits, sweet, but we don't like to eat it here, but maybe you will like, I don't know. To see him, this is not the season, by the way, since Jesus was coming that way. So when Jesus reached the spot, Jesus looked up and said to him. Now, 2 cases you read in the Bible. One, write this verse down, John 5:1-15. And Luke 19, when Jesus himself addresses somebody, that means Jesus starts the speech. He started to talk to Zacchaeus. You know, usually people will come to Jesus to be healed. In this case, Jesus goes to them. One is Zacchaeus. Jesus looked up, so Jesus knows everything. He's the Lord. And he said, Zacchaeus, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. All the people saw this and began to mutter, to murmur, to whisper, he has gone to be the guest of a sinner. Why a sinner? A lot of money. Did Jesus come for the well? No. Did Jesus come for the rich? No. He came for people who lived in darkness. I will read that to you. So basically he was a sinner. It's okay. All the people saw this and began to mutter, he has gone to be a guest of a sinner. But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, look, Lord, here and now I will give half of my belongings, my possessions to the poor. Wow, half of everything that he owns. And if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay them 4 times, 4 folds, or 4 times the amount. So why did he say, why not 5 times? Why 4 times? This needs to be answered. So Jesus said to him, today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. Why he said 4 times? It's very interesting. This is from the book of Deuteronomy, from the Old Testament. The Jews believe that if, let's say, me as a Jew, I commit a sin, I break one of the commandments. How many commandments do we have as Jews? Anybody knows?
Hundreds and hundreds.
10?
Hundreds.
No, we have 613 mitzvahot. Write this down. Mitzvahot, commandments. Mitzvahot.
How you spell
Okay? 613. We don't have only the Pentateuch or the Torah. We have also the Tanakh.
spoke to it and said, "Thus says the Lord, I have made this water wholesome. From now on, neither death nor miscarriage shall come from it." I'm going to tell you something really weird. You know why I brought you here? I want you to drink from that water.
Oh.
You know, women, I'm very serious. Women who can, like, you need faith. Women who cannot conceive and have
Drink
children,
the water,
yeah?
yeah, I heard.
Basically,
I
they
can
come
drink.
and sometimes they have disease. I'm saying,
You
it's
want
not
to
me.
drink, huh?
Listen, they believe the word of the Bible, the word of God.
Joker, you drink the water, you give her, not my fault.
We do it now and then.
Not my fault. I want you before her now. You just wonder what I said. No, don't blame me, huh? Yeah.
It's spring
Yeah, it's
water.
better than 7-Up.
I know. It's better than Evian.
Okay, let me off this.
So they cut it because they're doing some work. But anyway, so a lot of people who have diseases, we go to Jacob's Well. We will go to Mary's Spring. There's many places, yeah? So basically, this was healed by a very great prophet, which is Elisha, yeah? Now, whenever you have water, what do you have? Life. We are in the desert. If you don't have this spring, and there's another 22 springs, there is no life here. You see this hill here? This hill is 10,000 years old. What is this hill? This hill is a city destroyed. Another city on top of it destroyed. 28 different cities are built over here. Yes, the first time and place that we hear about agriculture basically took place in Jericho. Because Jericho is part of the Livon. Livon is a fertile area between the two rivers, Mesopotamia, the land between two rivers, coming into Syria, Lebanon, Palestine or Israel, then in the Nile Delta. It looks like a crescent. In this area, in early times, we have the Paleolithic period, 12,000 years ago, Paleolithic period, 10,000 years ago, all the way to Chalcolithic period, where people became developed. What's really nice about this, you won't understand nothing, it's all piles of stones, but for archaeologists, you know, the first time we hear about coins, I have to ask him. The first time money was minted as money, Alexander the Great, Hellenistic period, 3rd century BC. One second, let me ask him. I really want to
Father, sorry. Elijah is Elisha's forefather, right? You taught him, right? I don't know. You keep on training him, This week, we asked Elijah to make him as powerful as him, right? Elisha. Elijah gave his cloak to him before he ascended. Yeah, in the chariot.
Yes, this is what we do. I drank from it. You can drink 3 times.
You're still standing. Good.
Yes. Only 3 times. Yes, always number 3. It's a very important number.
In the Bible.
So basically, until now, they did not find the wall from Joshua. Remember, the first city to be destroyed by Joshua, totally. And you have the story of Rahab. Remember Rahab?
Yeah.
Who is she? The mother-in-law to King David. Did you know that she's related to King David?
No.
Yes, she is related to King David. Yes. She allowed the spies to go into the city. They did not find the city yet because they did not excavate the city yet.
Oh.
Yeah, they did some trenches, some things, but they did not really do full excavations. Yeah, the problem is Jericho is not under the control of Israel. Jericho is under the control of the Palestinians. But I have to tell you, it takes time. I have to tell you on the bus who the Palestinians are. You know, yeah. Just remember that. Well, if Israel wants to come here anytime they can, you know? I mean, they control the whole thing. But politically, because they signed this agreement, so they give it to the Palestinians. But Israel will never allow the Palestinians to do anything here unless they are together.
Yeah.
Because this has to do with Israel together, you know? So it takes time. Right now the situation is not very well, yeah? Now Jericho, Joshua, see the camel?
He loves to play with water.
This is the camel over there. See the camel? You don't see the camel? Right here. What do you mean no? Right here.
Yeah, that's a camel.
Yes. Okay. Now Jericho is mentioned as a sea of palms. What is this?
Oh, palm tree.
Big palm tree.
Big.
Now I tried. This is why Jesus said, "I am the bread of life." Okay. We'll talk more about this later on. And very important. How many years did he provide that? 40 years. Listen, number 3 and number 40 is not, you should learn from me. Jesus, okay, he was crucified by the age 33. He was denied 3 times. He was tempted 3 times. Number 3, you will hear a lot. Number 40, who can give me an example? Jesus himself, obviously. I am the temple. I will destroy the temple 3 days. But they never understood. We'll be talking about all of this. Yeah? Listen. But yes, but the Jews want the building. They want this is the problem. Okay. Basically, this is the highest mountain in the world. See a wall? Can you hear me, everybody? If you cannot come closer, if you cannot hear me, ask me again and again. I want all of you to hear.
We're going up the Orthodox Church Monastery.
Okay, there's a mountain. The mountain straight ahead on the top is a wall, octagonal wall. This is what we call the Mount of Temptation. Okay, but actually in the Arabic language, it doesn't say Mount of Temptation. Here in Arabic, it says there, which means monastery, because there's a monastery over there. Can you see it? It's called Karantal, which comes from quarente, which means what?
14.
Because 40. Because Jesus fasted 40 days and 40 nights. Now that monastery over there, don't worry, because we are coming again. We will take the cable car, okay, and we will go. We used to go to a place called Masada. We used to with the groups. Not too interesting to me. Yeah, not too. It doesn't fit Christianity much. Yeah, Judaism okay. So I changed it to this place. And I tell you something. Yeah, that monastery is a very holy place. You know, just being there, and there's a place where Jesus sat to pray, and they cover that with a glass. Yeah, you remember? I think, did you come with us last time? Father, did you come?
Yes.
Amazing. That is a Greek Orthodox, monastery. Now, there's a big difference between Catholic churches and Greek Orthodox churches. So, before we go to Jerusalem, I have to get you used to Orthodox churches. Why? Because the Nativity Church is what? Orthodox. Holy Sepulchre is what? Orthodox. You have to get used to that, yeah? So, tomorrow I want you to wake up early. And tonight you sleep early, so tomorrow you wake up early, because we have to do a lot of extra things. You know, I will take you in Nazareth. How many Annunciation do we have?
How many?
Churches called the Annunciation. How many churches called the Holy Sepulchre? Did you know that?
I got one.
Garden. Go put garden tomb.
The number.
So basically, that is the mount. Now, you see the wall? That wall is octagonal. Why? Why octagonal? All the Catholic churches, all of them, even the Orthodox, are octagonal. You know why? Nobody knows why. 90% people don't know why. No, not only me. I learned from the Germans. I speak here. The best people to learn from, what I speak here? German. The best people to learn theology from are the Germans. Doctors. Yeah.
Greeks. Okay.
No, Germans. Germans, they want to go deep, you know? So there's a reason which I will tell you not now, but when we go to the north. For example, they caught 153 fish. Why not 152? The 2 pieces of bread, 5 loaves of bread, and 2 fish. Why not 6 and 1 fish? Okay, so there's a reason. Everything comes from the Old Testament. That's interesting, yeah? Now, basically there's a cable car. We'll take the cable car. We'll go to that place. There's a restaurant. We'll sit down, drink some juice and stuff and coffee and and then we'll walk all the way to the monastery. And there's one day we'll come early in the morning. Early. It's better always to be early. And then we'll visit that. And then from here we will go to see the caves of Qumran. We'll have lunch and we'll go and float on the Dead Sea. Now, there's something really weird that will happen when the Messiah comes. It's written in Zechariah 14. You should have something to write.
Yeah.
Okay, I will repeat all of that. It's for you. Let me tell you something. Okay, what do you know about the Dead Sea? What do you know about the Dead Sea?
Can float.
Salty, 10 times saltier than the Mediterranean. Can you really swim? No, you can float. Is there any fish in it?
No.
What if I tell you it is written in Zechariah 14, in the book of prophets, that at the end of times, the Dead Sea will be healed. Mount of Olives will be separated into 2. One to the, don't worry, I'm not going to, one to the north, one to the south, and there will be a deep valley. It will come from under the Temple Mount, and then there will be so much water, the living water, that will go back to the Dead Sea, and people will go fishing. What if I tell you that? You believe that? One of the signs also of the coming of the Messiah is the Sea of Galilee. The Sea of Galilee, the level is going down. You'll see that. Well, he will, because he comes a lot here. Father will notice that. You won't, because have you ever been here before or no?
No.
First time? Yeah. That's okay. I'll make it the best time. Okay, so now for agriculture, what comes also, the best oranges in the world come from? Jaffa. No, Jaffa. When we go to Jaffa, what are we going? Orange.
Orange.
If you go to Europe, to Spain, to Russia, you buy orange, you flip it, what's written on it? Jaffa. Number 1. What is the second best? Why? They're so big. Here, you can sell it.
Pomegranate.
No orange. Big and very sweet. Then we have pomelos. You know what pomelos are? Then we have here papaya, which is really good for the skin. You have papaya?
Yeah.
I'll teach you how, if you have wrinkles and stuff, I'll teach you how to do that. Yeah? So basically for the beginning of agriculture, it's very important. Now, Jericho lies between 2 mountain ranges. You see how this mountain lies and then a new one comes out? That one far away is Samaria. We are the only group, by the way, that is Catholic that will go to Samaria. You know that? I started that. Yeah, well, how long ago? 8 years ago. They used to go to Caesarea, and I canceled all of that. It's not too interesting. What's really interesting for me is Jacob's well. Jacob's well is real. This is where this is the only well. For example, so I know that Jesus drank, the disciples drank from that water. That woman was going to give Jesus water, but he said, "I will give you the everlasting water that you will never." Yeah, that's Samaria, the Good Samaritan Inn story. The journey that the Holy Family did, yeah, when they came to give birth to Jesus. So we'll be doing a lot of things, yeah, which is you won't find in other people. They don't do that, yeah. This is called the West Bank. This is also called the West Bank. Now, why? Not now, because I have to. You are staying in Bethlehem. Bethlehem is located in the West Bank. I have to tell you the Palestinians. What do they believe? What is the problem exactly? Slowly. But we'll be peaceful. Not with Israel, not with the Palestinians. We'll be on one line, and you can stay with whoever you want, okay? God blessed Israel, by the way.
Okay, look at me, Amy. Smile. Okay.